Hello and welcome to Ask Miko, Sports, Sex, and Everything in Between. I'm Miko Grimes, your host, and this is episode 6 of the show. If you've been following this whole time, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, send my link to everybody so we can build this channel back up to where it needs to be. And today I have an amazing guest, WNBA expert, Forbes 30 for 30, and Harlem native, Khristina Willams. Cheers.
Hey girl, cheers.
Girl, it's late.
It's
late.
It is late.
It's
And
2:45.
I'm here.
You taking shots,
Shots,
drinking wine.
I'm trying to just stay up.
We about to do this though. You flew in from New York. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back in South Florida. Last time I saw you was my birthday party.
I know, had so much fun.
We had a time.
You know how to party.
Listen, if I don't know nothing else, I know how to fucking party. This episode's about to be a party too.
I'm here. I'm game.
Yes. So we're going to get right to it. All the Ask Miko questions again. Let me explain the rules. Okay. The guests and my friends send in questions. You can skip some of them if you feel like it.
Okay.
I'm going to run through everything, but I'm going to definitely take a backseat to the WNBA questions because I completely respect your opinion.
Okay.
And we're going to get started.
Let's do this.
Let's get it started.
Get it done.
So late. First question. What steps should the WNBA take to increase popularity and viewership?
That is a good first question. I think that in order for the league to grow its popularity and viewership, it starts with the coverage. Less than 4% of all media is allocated to women's sports. And when you break that down to women's basketball, it's probably even less. And so I would just say it's less on the league and more on like the newsrooms to diversify their coverage and to invest money into women's sports coverage. The more we tell the stories, the more visibility, and that translates into marketing and dollars.
So we just watched the Aces play the Wings. They swept them.
Yes, they did.
So the Aces have the broom out the entire season so far. And this next question says, what do you think the Dallas Wings need to do next year to become a real contender in the WNBA?
I think that first and foremost, the Dallas Wings can definitely be proud of how their season ended, although it ended in a sweep by the defending champions. But this is a team that has a new coach in Latricia Trammell coming in, right, and changing the culture of a team and organization, getting players to buy into her system. And I think that they should be very proud of the season that they've had. Now, what do they need? I mean, they have a lot of bigs on their roster right now. I think that they need more versatile guards. They need help. They need guards who can play defense as well, because sometimes Arike and some of the guards can be a liability when we talk about perimeter defense. But I think that they have a well-rounded crew right now, a nice young core. Satu Sabali, she won Most Improved Player. They picked up Natasha Howard in free agency, who has some veteran experience, a WNBA champion. And then the future is bright for that organization. So I think if they can get some versatile guards who can score, play defense, they'll be all right.
Yes, that sweep was nice. So I'm team Aces.
I hear you.
This next question is really good too. It says, why do so many good college players not make the WNBA roster? Am I missing something?
I think people forget that the WNBA is one of the top leagues in the entire world, and only the top 1% of athletes actually get to make the WNBA. There's only 144 spots. And then when you factor in the hard salary cap where most teams carry 11 players, it's probably like 136 spots year to year, where you have a draft, right? Where 36 players are drafted every year, but not enough roster spots. You got top draft prospects getting cut in training camp, and that's because we need expansion. There's only 12 teams. And so that's probably why some of the top college players, especially now with the extra COVID year, are taking, their extra year of eligibility and waiting to declare for the draft because there aren't enough spots. And I know that the league's commissioner, they're currently working on ways to expand the league and to add more teams. There's been talk about adding a team to the Bay, adding one in Canada. This past season, they've had a preseason game in Canada. And so just expanding their global reach is the goal. But we ain't there yet. The league is 27 years old and it's still growing. So
Sadly,
sadly,
still growing.
but the WNBA is at a pretty good spot at 27 years compared to what the NBA was at 27 years. And
Very
so,
true.
and so it's growing, it's expanding, the viewership is there. And so we just wait for the expansion.
I think people miss that. They think the NBA has always been lit. They
Right.
have no idea. In the 80s, they were not lit. It took the league and the commissioner to take it globally, to take it overseas, to just grow it the way it is now. Like, it was never like this. Players were not making the money they were making right now.
Right.
Like, it just wasn't happening. So I think that that's perspective that people are probably missing about the WNBA.
Yeah, and these are the growing pains. And, the league hears people, they see it, and they're making changes and adjusting. I think the hugest thing right now is 2025. Like, all eyes is on 2025 because that new media rights deal. So the deal with ESPN will be expiring, and then you'll probably have some new players bidding for that broadcasting rights. Will help the league tremendously when we talk about the finances, because right now the league's broadcasting deal as it stands, I think, is about $27 million, which is severely undervalued, especially when we talk about the trajectory of the league and where it's at. Viewership is up over 22% this year alone, and the views keep going up. Arenas keep selling out. And so the numbers prove, the data prove that the league is growing, and the current broadcasting deal isn't reflective of that. And so in 2025, when they're able to renegotiate, I think that we'll see major shifts happen.
What is your opinion on the league making players wait 4 years until they're graduated from college to enter the league? Do you think that they should allow players to come out earlier?
Again, that's just going back to they're not being enough roster spots. I do think that also because we talk about some of the contracts, right? The highest paid WNBA player makes about $220,000, and that's probably like the top 8% of the players in the league who's hitting that mark. And so I think that is great, actually, that these women get to go to college for 3 to 4 years and get a degree, because it's just your career span in the W is so much shorter than in the NBA. And year to year, you have even veterans fighting for a roster spot. And so nothing's promised, and so it's great to always have that backup plan. And as the league grows, some of these players know that they're making a sacrifice by being a part of this league and taking all the hits so that the next generation won't have to go through that. And maybe in a few years to come, like I said, when that new media rights deal come, maybe they will get a one and done player. But it's just not there yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that too, because like there's so many players that would probably benefit coming out after year 1 or 2 when they have all this limelight and this interest in them from college.
Right.
And then it kind of dies down when they get to the WNBA. They lose fans, they lose all that, that push behind them. And I just think that just because you played 4 years in college, that doesn't mean you have to play 4 years in college.
Right.
Some people are ready after 1 year or 2 years. And I feel like that should be an option. If you want to shake the dice, if you want to gamble on yourself, you should be able to do that. And right now, the league not letting people do that is kind of unfair to me.
Well, I don't think it's unfair because, again, there's only the WNBA stateside. There's not like they have a G League or, a pathways to the WNBA like the NBA. There's so many entry points to players being able to get to the NBA. You got G League Ignite, the G League. You have just so many different other options in men's leagues compared to the women's league. So I think that once expansion happens, maybe they start a development league. I know that now there are some other leagues being formed, like Athletes Unlimited, which I've been able to collaborate for the past 2 years. But that's a complimentary league that's from February to March, which is in the WNBA offseason, where it gives players an opportunity to play stateside for a month and make some money so they don't have to go overseas. And it's a compliment to the WNBA, but it's in no way a development league. I think that one of the things that the league should think about is when these players are getting cut, lottery picks and new draftees getting cut, maybe create that G League or development league so that when free agency comes around or trade deadlines, injuries, you have players readily available to sign, and who are ready. Maybe make some of these players practice squad players. I know that a lot of teams use professional men's basketball players for a practice squad, but try to incorporate some of these players, some of these rookies coming in. Just my thoughts.
With the season that Asia Wilson is having, do you think she was robbed of the MVP this year? You were a voter.
I was a WNBA
There's 60
voter.
voters, right?
60. There's a panel of 60 voters in each team. So there's 12 teams in the WNBA. Each team gets to pick 2 local voters, and then there's 36 national voters. So I'm one of the national voters. And yeah, Asia Wilson was my first choice on my ballot. She was my top choice. And I think first and foremost, there was only 13 points that separated, the candidates for MVP. And I think that goes to show you just how incredible of a season and how much the game is growing, right? Where you have Breanna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, all in the top percentile, but they've been playing some of their best basketball. Was Asia robbed? Credits to Stewie, first and foremost. Credits to Stewie for being able to win MVP. But Asia was just my first choice. She was one of the most dominant players, defensive player of the year back-to-back, the Aces' #1 team in the league.
What happened? See, let me just, because she was my pick as well. And then when I heard things like how many points she scored,
Yes.
the amount of shots she took,
Yes.
the minutes she played, and then seeing the roster that she has, and there's so many dogs on that roster, and she still had those numbers, why was that not considered?
So Becky Hammond brought up something that was really interesting in saying that she feels like some voters, not me, that some voters may have penalized Asia in terms of her value because she played less minutes. In a lot of the fourth quarters, Becky Hammond was able to sit Asia Wilson out. And so that was one of the things.
So if you walk in
wasn't
somebody,
me,
if
but
you
maybe
walk
some
in
other
teams
voters.
because y'all that nice, that's gonna go against you as the MVP?
Didn't factor into my vote, but that's an interesting point that Becky brought up. Ryan Rucco from ESPN brought up another interesting point that said voters fatigue. Maybe voters are like, oh, she won it last year. I want to even the score. Again, didn't factor into my vote. I didn't have Asia fall into third.
She was third
on the list when the final results came out, and I was super surprised to see that someone actually voted her fourth. And I was like, whoa, again, wasn't me. Asia was #1 on my list when it came to my ballot. In full transparency, the WNBA, they don't reveal who the voters are.
And why is that?
I have my own theory. I think it is to protect them, but I'm one of those people who have had a vote since 2021, and I'm always transparent every year about who I vote for because I'm going to stand on my shit. Like, if I'm voting for players, I'm going to put it out there. Like, this is who I voted for. So the league gives voters the freedom to put their own ballots out there, but they are not going to do it. They're not at that point. And I was told per one of the executives, it was just to protect voters from harassment from fans and whomever else may be, out there.
I feel like if you have that privilege, you have to deal with what comes with it.
Absolutely.
There's only 60, like you said, right?
Yep. 60.
So if you're in that esteemed group of people, you should be standing on whatever it is you choose.
I stand on my shit. So
you should be able to handle whatever comes with your vote.
Yep.
Because there's only 60.
Yep.
Like, come on.
And I think that voters should take it with pride and watch film.
Actually watch
and not just follow what the popular thing is to do. Really, and that was the major controversy, right? You had players like Natasha Cloud come out and say some things because she was upset she didn't make all defensive team, which again is another tiered voting list. A few years ago, coaches was able to vote on the all defensive team, and then it switched to voters 2 years ago, and that was after the year in 2020 where Candace Parker was named Defensive Player of the Year, but coaches left her off the all defensive team, and the only time that's ever happened in the league history.
Wait a minute.
And then now voters are able to vote. Exactly.
Are you trying to
make it make sense, Miko? Candace Parker won Defensive Player of the Year in 2020. And the coaches left her off the all defensive.
This is ghetto.
So I think that on both sides, whether it's coaches voting or a panel of 60, people are going to have their own biases, right? Like it's going to happen, but I just think that that's absolutely ridiculous. And so some players this year was like, well, maybe players should vote. And it's like, absolutely not. You guys are not going to be able to vote because one, there's money involved. Two, you're just going to vote for your teammates. It's just not going to make sense. I think that the 60 people, maybe they should stand on their vote. Maybe the NBA, I think the NBA reveals every year who's voting for who or whatever like that. Maybe the WNBA next year.
I wish they had some type of app or something where you could see how many hours of WNBA basketball they actually watched.
Listen,
so
I can't speak for everybody else, but I know my ass is in practice. My ass is at the games. My ass is watching at home. Yeah. So
my son probably watches more WNBA than these fucking voters.
Make it make sense. I mean, but kudos to Breanna Stewart. I mean, the New York Liberty, right, is a franchise that has been gotten bumped out of the playoffs the last 2 seasons. She's come in, and granted, you know, we have our superstars on our team, and the Aces have their super team. But man, we're in the semifinals, about to make the finals. So
y'all hear that? We're in the semifinals.
Listen, I'm from
who
New York.
You got winning? It's clear
I'm
now.
from New York,
but
baby.
let's stand on it. Who you got winning the WNBA championship this year?
Okay, the New Yorker in me is saying that the New York Liberty will get their first championship in franchise history this year.
And why? Tell me why.
When you look at the two teams, I mean, both are pretty talented. Obviously, today the Aces were able to clinch a spot in the finals, and they get that week off. And you know, New York, they got to win more and more. They got to win more and more. But when I look at the regular season, although that doesn't count in the playoffs, it's 0-0. The Liberty, I mean, they've just built the chemistry for the long run, and also the versatility of their roster in terms of depth. When we talk about bench depth, the Aces, they lean heavily on their starting five. And when it's time for the bench to come in, they don't produce. And so I look at the New York Liberty, have players like Kayla Thornton, Maureen Johannes, Stephanie Dolson, all players who can produce on both sides of the ball and have been really crucial in the Liberty winning these games and head-to-head matchups against the Aces.
You have a point, because benches can help you win a championship. I have the Aces win the championship this year for obvious reasons. Their starting lineup is insane. Anybody can give you 30.
Absolutely.
For real. Like, they have 4 starters. And Candace isn't even playing, so that sucks.
I know. Candace is still recovering from her injury.
Yeah, that sucks. But I still feel like they have the right amount of people to get to the championship. They've swept through the playoffs so far. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be no sweep. We're being disrespectful to Connecticut right now. Let me just apologize.
How are we being disrespectful?
The series is not over.
It's not.
It's 2-1, Khristina.
It's not
2-1.
But they might get packed up.
They might get packed up. They haven't yet, but I believe they're going to get packed up. But I think it's going to be a great series. I wish it was a 7-game series. The 5-game series kind of feels cheating.
Yep.
Like I just feel like in a 5-game series, you got to really, really bring it every single game because it's quick.
I love this time of the year, especially because we have the top 3 MVP candidates still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In what world does that even get to happen?
Right.
We get to see the best of the best battle it out. And right now we get to see the head-to-head matchup with Alyssa Thomas and Breanna Stewart, and possibly next round, Breanna against Asia or Alyssa against Asia, to make the case of
MVP.
Exactly.
So if Asia wins,
they can back it up.
So let's say, for shits and giggles, the Aces win the championship and Asia is the finals MVP. This will remind me of Jokic losing the MVP to Embiid, who didn't even make it out of the second round.
Wow. Yep.
Like, it's just, I want this for her. And it's no shade to New York. I think they're an amazing team, just like you said. Either one of them deserve the championship. They both put in the work. New York won the Commissioner's Cup.
Yes, we did.
All respect. I'm just riding with them because they have my favorite player on the team.
Oh, yeah, Chelsea Gray, point guard.
Don't play with Chelsea. Don't play with Chelsea.
Don't play with her.
She's my favorite player in the league. So that's why I'm riding, just so we're clear. That's why I'm riding with them. But I wouldn't have a problem with New York winning because they, like you said, they do have a great team. I just want to see how Asia comes into this final series, knowing that she probably feels she was robbed as well.
I mean, she's definitely probably going to play with a chip on her shoulder. I know she said that it hurt her not to win the MVP award, but then she also said it is what it is. Like my focus right now is to win a championship, and the Aces, they're focused right now. They want to do something that hasn't been done in over 20 years. The last team to go back to back in the WNBA
Sparks
was the Sparks in like 2002.
My team,
right? So, the Aces, they're focused. They want to win. They're playing for something bigger. And I just love to see it because we get to watch history go down right before our eyes. And like I said, Breanna Stewart, first ballot, first team Hall of Famer. Asia Wilson, same thing. Both incredible players. And so I'm just here for the ride. Like, oh, this is some great basketball.
This has been a very fun season. All right, no more WNBA. Let's have some fun. We're going to talk college football, a little bit of basketball, and then some shenanigans, okay? So we're going to run through these really quickly so we can get through this. Okay, first one is Deion's Colorado now Black America's team? Skip Bayless tweeted this. He was basically promoting the next segment on the show. What did you think about this tweet? First of all, did you even watch the show or did you just hear about the tweet?
So I did not watch the show.
Okay.
I don't usually watch Skip Bayless. But I did see the tweet on my timeline and I was like, stay out of Black people's business. It rubbed me the wrong way to see him tweet that without any context to it. And that's all I have to say in regards to that.
I think you hit it right on the head. The context was missing. I didn't watch the entire show, but someone encouraged me to watch the segment. There was 2 other Black men in this dialogue. That was a real segment on their show. It's not like Skip brought the segment. ESPN even said it and had this segment on. I think Skip in this moment.
Was this based off the Anscape article, I think? Was it based off an ESPN article?
Yes.
Okay.
So Skip is getting the shitty end of this stick, and I don't mind it, and I hate that I even have to be like, all right, Skip, I'm going to give you a pass, because that's definitely what I'm doing right now. He's simply talking about a topic on his show. 2 other Black men had this discussion as well.
Yep.
When people say, is it Black America's team? Who's white America's team? You know what I'm saying?
Speak on it, Miko.
So on the other side of it, I just feel like certain things just shouldn't be said, but we all know the reason that we're even talking about it now is because Skip is a master at clickbait.
Yeah.
He's going to get you talking about him.
Yeah.
He got me to watch the show. I ain't fucking watched that show since
they
Shannon
need the
left.
ratings, right?
Yes, it's working.
So
the shit is working. So I had to watch that segment, and I get what they were trying to do and what they were trying to say, but it's still in poor taste, in my opinion, to use that headline to trigger people. It's ghetto. And I don't like it. I don't like it. But what I will say is I do have some stats and that I looked up, and it says Boulder has a Black population of 1.1%.
Wow.
And someone said, I've been here for nearly 20 years. I've never seen anything like this. 14 Black coaches roam the sidelines. And there's 133 football programs, while roughly half the players are Black.
Wow. Well, this is so shocking.
It's really sad that we only have 14 coaches. And I feel like it's not our space, even though our young men are playing in that space. And hopefully something changes. And we see the same thing in the NFL.
Right.
You know, although it is growing, we do have, I want to say, probably 11 Black quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah. So things are changing.
Listen,
things are moving.
The front office, coaching positions, staffing positions should be reflective of the league, right? Like there's majority Black players. There should be a higher percentage of Black coaches and Black people in the front office.
Do you feel Dan Lanning's comments about Coach Prime were racially charged? I think they were culturally charged.
Culturally charged. I like that.
Let's go culturally charged.
I don't think it was racially charged. I think that obviously like clickbait culture, as we said, is It's a part of sports, right? And the goal for these college coaches is to get recruits. And so how do you reel in,
Yeah.
new players?
I
Through
think that's
social media and the coverage that we talked about earlier on in the show. So racially charged, no. Culturally charged,
yes.
yes, absolutely.
Because there's white players on that team too that are buying into this entire thing.
Mhm.
They're yelling just as loud as the black players. They talking shit
Right.
just like them. I think that the biggest issue with Deion in college football is recruiting.
Yes.
No, Colorado is not going to the championship this year. They don't have the roster. But in 3 years, they will. And I think that's what all these coaches are fearing.
And these players want to play for Coach Prime.
And the NIL
He's one of
deals.
one of the best to do it. The NIL deals. I mean, I just watched a commercial where he had some of the walk-on players in the commercial with him. So everybody's getting paid.
Who wouldn't want that?
Right. Who wouldn't want to be in that limelight and to learn from one of the best to ever do it?
Keep doing what you're doing,
Listen,
Prime.
I don't be watching football like that, but I'll be tuned in on the weekends to Colorado.
I'm going to a game.
I'm coming with you. Well,
You gotta come with
going
me.
together.
All right, let's get into some shenanigans, okay? Carrie Hilson said that she thought Tyler, the Creator, was so fine. So someone wants to know, would you ever consider dating someone who considers themselves bisexual?
Me personally, I don't think I could do it. And I mean that with all due respect. It's just not my thing, not something that I would be interested in.
So I'm obviously married. What I have to say about it is there's just certain things that I don't fuck around with.
Yeah.
And that's men that like other men.
Mm.
That's my preference.
Okay.
If you calling yourself bisexual, that's fine. I happen to think you're gay.
Hey, I'm just
people
have their preferences.
I'm just being
I
honest.
just do not prefer to date a bisexual man.
There's a double standard, right? Because I
Right.
think women can be bisexual.
Yeah.
But I don't know if men can. There's a line. And I don't know. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I have never entertained it and never will. But it's not something that I want to entertain, that I ever would want to entertain. Because if you like men, I already got to compete with you liking women. Now I got to compete with you liking men too. Like, come on. I'm off it.
It's just not my thing.
To each his own, though.
Yeah, to each his own.
Do your thing, 21.
I don't
Do your
judge
thing.
people. I don't judge people. Love who you love.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
I like men that like pussy only. That's it. Pussy.
I'm going to drink to that.
Cheers to men that like pussy only. We're going to drink to that. Whew. Next question. Make a choice. Being in the best shape of your life at 40 or owning an expensive car and being in bad shape?
Is that a rhetorical question?
I mean, I
pray to God that I make it to 40. But of course, I'm going to choose being in the best shape of my life at 40 over a damn car that depreciates as soon as you drive it off the damn lot.
Well, I'm 48 and I have both. Bad bitch,
you can
energy.
Have both.
I mean, I think a Tesla is
either
amazing.
or. The question was either or, and I would.
Since I'm already in shape,
bring on the luxury car.
Bring on the Maybach. Bring on the fucking. I don't even know what the best car is. I have a Tesla. Is that
Teslas
the best?
are nice.
Both. Cool. I don't know what to say.
Environmentally friendly.
Does your partner's body count matter? We all saw the Brittany Renner interview.
Shout out to Brittany Renner. Shout out to homie.
We saw her on Club Shay Shay, and she said she had 35 bodies. There's mixed reviews on if that's a lot or not. Ply said, that's not a lot. That's a fourth of a tank of gas.
Mm-hmm. Why did he say that's a fourth of a tank of gas?
That's only imagine 35 years old. And then somebody else broke it down even further and said, if you think about it, if she started having sex around 17 or 18,
two and a half
two men a year. What is your opinion on body count? Do you answer questions to men that ask you your body count? And do you care about a man's body count?
I mean, I feel like at our big old age, body count, what are we doing? I mean, this is my thoughts. As long as you come to me with clean health records and you're healed from all that trauma, we got something to work with. I feel like body count is to each his own, right? It's a very subjective topic. I think that, live your life how you want to live it. I don't. I'm not worried about what came before me too much. I'm thinking and looking for how we can build moving forward. I personally am not asking a grown ass man what's his body count. One, he ain't gonna tell the truth in the first place, and two, what the fuck? Like, what does that matter right now in this moment? So, I think that's a tired conversation. It's obviously a double standard because men can fuck who they want when they want, and then if a woman does it, she's a hoe, she's a whore, she's all of the names.
She's a hoe, she's a freak,
got a different all of that, right? So, and I think also times have changed. Like we're back in the day, I want to say, sex was more of a taboo, and now women are more sexually liberated. And women are more empowered to embrace their sexuality. And so it is what it is.
I'm going to say this. I'm being completely honest. I don't think 25-year-old Miko could have kept her husband with the sexual experience that I had at that age. I think having sexual experiences and learning not only how to please a man, but what gets you off,
period,
makes you a better sexual partner. So if I wasn't sucking the dick I was sucking when I met my husband, I don't know that he would be here.
Period.
I just don't know. I wasn't that good. I wasn't nice. I didn't throw it back.
Listen.
It was a lot of shit I couldn't do in them lower body count years. Okay? I was inexperienced pussy, inexperienced mouth, and you have to, and I'm not saying I ain't got 35, but
I ain't got 35
it don't matter if you do. What I think matters is knowing your body, knowing how to please a man,
right?
Knowing how to get yourself off, because that's what I've learned. A lot of women don't even know how to make themselves nut. Like I just need a hard dick. You don't even really got to do nothing at this point, right?
Right.
I know how to get it for myself, but that comes with experience. You know what I'm saying? Trials, tribulations.
Please come to me, experience.
Come experience. A lot of niggas want a girl virgin, one dick,
untouched,
and then mad that she don't know what she doing. Like
he can teach her.
Yeah, but that's a lot of.
That's a lot. We ain't got time for all that.
Time for that shit. I mean, we at a big age.
We grown.
Come ready. Come knowing how to
come
suck
to me
dick.
Healthy and healed.
Healthy, healed, deep,
and ready
throat, wet mouth, wet pussy, skilled,
period,
arched back, all of it.
Period.
I think men like that. And they lie and act like they want some inexperienced, low body count, when in reality they gonna throw you away.
Listen,
like, oh,
I had
man,
a huge argument in my little group chat about this the other day. Like, why y'all niggas lying?
They lying.
Y'all complete. 35 is too much for a woman. Like, but y'all still go around and mess with women.
Yeah. And then you buying pussy that's had more than 35 bodies.
High mileage. Like, let's be serious.
You buying that pussy because it's experience. Because you know you're going to get what you need from her. You know? Knock it off.
Period.
Knock it off. Travis Kelce was dating Kayla Nicole, black girl.
Yep.
Body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. Meg
pretty.
the Stallion. I mean, she looks amazing, right? Then they break up, and now he's dating Taylor Swift.
Allegedly.
It's not alleged. Who's built like Aiden.
Yeah, they gonna come for you.
We gotta shout out James Harden for these moments. feeling a little drunk.
Ooh, shout out to James Harden.
So, what do you think? How do you go from Kayla Nicole to Taylor Swift?
Listen.
How?
Take me out the group chat, NFL. I don't care about Travis, Taylor, the Swifties. Take me out the damn group chat. I'm so tired of hearing about them.
I am, but we got to talk about it because people ask
how do you go from one to the other? I mean, looks don't really determine the success of a relationship. I think that it's all a publicity stunt, personally, based off the past girls that he's had. I don't feel like she's not his type, but who knows? I don't know.
She's not. Well, I think men have a type, and it doesn't have to be exact, but that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, take me out the group chat. I don't care about the Swifties, about Kelsey. Take me out.
People were like, Kayla Nicole was a bill.
Also, we don't know these people. We don't know what their personalities are like, if they were compatible. I really don't get into people's relationships and stuff.
But we have to on this show because they asking the questions, child. They asking the questions. We got to answer them.
I mean,
I personally feel like, and I could absolutely be wrong. I think that some white men do fetish black women. That came into play in my mind. If I'm being completely honest with myself, it did.
Yeah,
it came into my mind like, how you go from Meg Thee Stallion to Britney Spears? That's just what I think about. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, but again,
to each its own. Taylor, she's a boss ass.
She bossy. Woman. She's
killing it.
What they calling her? I call her the white Mary J. Blige.
Yo, out of pocket, yo.
The only time I ever hear about her is when she writes a song about a breakup, and that's the same with Mary J. Blige.
But her songs be hitting.
I don't know any of them.
Shake it off.
See, and that's the only one. And we just talked about that, and that's sad because I feel like she's such a big star that I should know more songs. But the reason I don't is because I don't fuck with her music. I just don't. It's not my vibe. And that's why it's weird to be like Kayla Nicole and then try. It's weird.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean,
it's weird.
The world's tuned in.
If you know Taylor Swift songs,
the NFL sales are going up. She's going to be at the
Jersey,
Jets game.
His jersey is booming now.
His followers went up. So, I mean, maybe she's an upgrade.
And then as soon as he cheat on her.
I'm a movement by myself.
Soon as he cheat on her, because it seems like she always getting cheated on, then she go write a song about him.
It is
and go on tour.
It's a win-win situation.
Do your thing, 21. Do broke boys deserve pussy?
Absolutely not.
Why not? Because what I heard is
you heard
broke boys have the best dick. Homeless niggas.
I wouldn't know. I don't.
Homosexuals throw the best
dick.
She
didn't say homo. She said
homosexuals throw the best dick, eat the best pussy. They just need somewhere to stay.
I have not dealt with one of those before. So I would not know.
That's the word of the streets.
Deal with broke boys. I don't know.
Do broke girls deserve dick?
I don't.
If you say no to men, then broke girls don't.
I feel like I can't speak because I'm not a man. So I don't know. But, when you math the math about.
I think broke girls don't deserve dick either. The reason they're getting
Go back to double standards.
Is because they look good. A man is.
This is what I was saying in my group chat the other day because someone brought up something similar with, women don't value themselves if they have over 35 bodies. So I said, well, men don't value themselves if they have over 35 bodies, right?
Right.
If you want to, so it's kind of the same situation here.
They don't want to do that.
Right.
They don't want to do that. I think men date women with nothing financially to bring to the table and then get her pregnant and then get mad that she's only there for the child support. Dummy. You can't
introduce her to something she can't maintain, right?
Make better raw decisions is what I always say.
We need to bring back shame.
What is the one thing you wish men understood about women in the bedroom?
take your time. Like, I just,
I like that.
take your time.
Relax.
Relax.
What's the rush?
Right.
Slow down the pumps, right?
Slow down.
Slow down the pumps.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you about to come, pull it out and eat it.
Period.
Like, don't come fast. Don't embarrass me.
Foreplay goes a long way sometimes.
Yeah. Does the body count if you didn't come?
No. So if you do it by that factor, no, I'm just playing.
Does the body count if it's a micro penis?
Yo, I got a funny story about that. I'm about to tell you about. Hell no, that shit don't count. That shit does not count. I will save that person from embarrassment.
Never happened. No. Never happened.
It's just a terrible. I'm traumatized. Okay. It's mine. Oh my god. I am 100% traumatized.
This is so funny, yo. This is hilarious. Oh my god.
Okay. Next question.
People have bad grammar. Let me just say, I just really hate that you guys don't form proper sentences. And now that I'm drunk,
it's the why.
I gotta figure out what you meant. So I'm gonna word it the way I think they meant it, and say, how do you handle check splitting when you're with a group of friends?
This is fun. I don't know why I'm laughing at check splitting.
Because shout out James Harden.
I got the giggles today. No, when we're out, like one person picks up one thing, then I got the next thing. We don't really trip on it.
Yeah,
I want to say.
I think, what I've learned, sometimes when I'm out with my friends and I try to pick up the bill, because a lot of it has to do with me in the financial situation I'm in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I ask my friends to go places that I know is out of their budget sometimes. And if I invite you somewhere, whether you're a man or a woman friend of mine, I'm implying that I'm picking up the bill, especially if I know your tax bracket. And I know this ain't something that you normally do. And some of my friends get offended by that. And they're just like, no, you cannot pick up my bill. Like, no, I'm grown. I said, yes, I'm coming. I want to pick up my own bill. Yeah. And I respect that. Yeah. What I don't like is seeing people with a Sharpie.
I only have the French fries and the
I am
not putting down.
Who ordered the shrimp?
No, they say, who ordered the gratuity? Let me stop. This is fun, Miko.
It's ghetto, right?
Yeah, I like it. This is one
of
the most fun.
Don't go places. This is what I want to say to people. If it's like 17 people, it's different. But if it's like 4 or less,
split it down.
Split it 4 ways equally. If you don't have the money to split it 4 ways, no matter what you ordered, don't go. Don't fucking go.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
that doesn't mean you should have to do that. But if they say, let's just split it 4 ways and you ain't got it, don't go.
And different friend groups do different things. Like, you can't be going out with people who are not your friends, right?
Yeah.
Like associates thinking they got you. No, they ain't got
you. They ain't got you.
But yeah, I'm a huge proponent on, like, we can split it if you want. I'm always down for whatever. Like, here's my card. Let me, whatever. I'm always down for whatever. So.
Okay, somebody asked me this. Any plans on doing Don't Call Me White Girls podcast? Let me just say this to her. Hey, girl, I love your show. You're funny. You're amazing. I would love to come on your show. I've never been asked. I don't think she follows me either, but I follow you. I would love to come on your show. It would be great. I'll come to Philly, wherever you're shooting at. You can come on my show too. We have a good time.
Okay.
All right. Thoughts on the Dame trade?
He spent 11 seasons in Portland, 7-time NBA All-Star, very loyal to that organization, even to the point where he was like, if the trade with Miami doesn't work, I'm going to rescind the trade request and I'll come back. And what did the organization do?
Look at God.
What did the organization do? They said, nah, we going to ship you to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And so I'm a huge proponent for do what's best for you.
Yeah.
and whatever makes you happy. So I'm here for it. I'm here for
I'm happy for him. He wrote a letter. I didn't read all of it. It was way too much, and I don't have my glasses. So, but he apologized.
Yeah.
I ain't like that. That's not your fault that you never had a shot at a title. That's the GM's fault.
Absolutely.
He never got you no real talent. No shade to who came. It wasn't enough.
Yep.
You're in the West. Got to bring it. So that's not your fault. Don't apologize for that. That's their issue. Now you have an opportunity to go after what you deserve. He has always deserved to be in the hunt for a championship.
Right.
He has that type of game.
Right.
You know? So now that you're in Milwaukee, I know you wanted Miami, Milwaukee, different. You know what I'm saying? Different cities.
Completely different vibes.
But you got a whole dog. They've already won. It's clear Giannis wants another one. He don't want to be one of the motherfuckers that got one championship. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's your
Dame
time.
is what, 33 years old?
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like, at this stage in his career, you got to go for what you want and do what's best for you.
Do it. Go for it. I'm cheering for y'all, unless y'all play the Lakers. Fuck you if you play the Lakers. But do your thing. Do your thing. I'm happy for him. Who was Brent's influence at corner, and how the negotiations go with Miami and Tampa? Well, I did ask Brent this question, and just so you guys know, Brent didn't have any real corner influences because Brent was not a cornerback. He turned into a cornerback to go to the NFL. Brent was a running back, okay? But he realized that his best chances of getting to the league was at corner. So he switched to corner, I think his sophomore or junior year in college. His biggest influence was Barry Sanders. From the day I met him, he has been telling me so many Barry Sanders stories, and he's hurt that he left early. So Barry Sanders has always been his influence. And he said if there were corners that he looked to once he became a corner, it was Deion and Rod Woodson. So
those are some pretty big influence.
There's your answer. That's why he wore 21 when he went to Miami, was to pay homage to Deion. All right, moving on. What do you think about Cap's letter to the Jets asking to get put on the practice squad?
I think you should take that.
I should take this. Sure. So I've seen what other people have said. I saw what Charlemagne and DJ Envy said. I even saw what Screaming A. Smith said. And I think what all of those three people are missing is you were never an athlete. By saying pack it the fuck up, give it up, you were never an athlete. By saying go to the XFL is similar to me telling one of y'all niggas to go live in Marcy Projects and y'all are multimillionaires. It's not how it goes. I don't like that people feel like because you call an organization or a company racist, that doesn't mean you don't want to work for them. We had bus strikes back in the day against racist companies, and we still needed the buses. We still needed to go places. We still needed to do things. Pepsi, probably racist. Okay? Every clothing brand you wear, probably racist. I'm going to bet most of the billionaire companies are racist in some way, shape, or form, right? Does that mean none of us should work for them? None of us should be able to gain a paycheck from them? No. You can call out your oppressor and still want a job.
Yeah.
You know? And I do get the other side of it, because let me shout out Teslin Figaro, who said, if I call you a racist and I call you out in that way, fuck you. I don't want to work for you ever again. That's your stance. Other people can call you out and still want their fucking job because that's what they've been wanting their whole fucking life.
Right.
Right? So the letter to me was almost him just humbling himself and really trying to get them to understand how much he wants to be back in the NFL and show that he can still play. Do I think they're going to give him a shot? No. And the reason is because if they do that, then it's almost like saying he was right. And they don't want to do that. Even though we see in racism on the borders of all the stadiums in the goal line and all that, everything he's done has made an impact visually, even though they've not done
It's all
anything.
performative right now.
Jay-Z made a song about not fucking with NFL, wearing a Colin Kaepernick jersey, and now he works with the NFL. Why is that not a big deal? Right?
Speak on it.
He's working with the NFL after calling them out. Why can't Cap work with them after calling them out? And I'm still waiting to see what Jay-Z finna do, because he said we was done kneeling and ain't a motherfucking thing happened since then. If we keeping it real. Right?
Period.
So if Jay-Z can get a job with the NFL, I feel like Kaepernick should get a job with the NFL. But I don't think it's going to happen because they don't want to say he was right.
And that's on that.
And that's on that. I wish you the best, Cap. I love you. I tell you that every time I speak to you. Shout out Nessa, ride or die ass bitch. I fuck with y'all. What NFL team out of the three will remain undefeated after this week? So I think the 49ers are going to wax the Cardinals. I think the Eagles are going to wax the Commanders. The Dolphins are playing Buffalo in New York. They're 8-2 in the last 10 years, I believe. Mm-hmm. Tua is 1-5, I think. So they have an opportunity to flip this around. People always say that the Dolphins can't win in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So this is a big opportunity for them to flip that narrative and win. So I think they can win. I think they have enough of everything to beat them. But for some reason, they just don't get it done. I think this is the time they get it done. So I'm going to say all three will be undefeated. If there's one that's I'm not sure of, it's the Dolphins. Okay. But we'll see.
And there you have it.
There you have it. Who are your top 5 NFL teams so far, and who's your way too early to predict Super Bowl matchup? I predicted before the season started, I predicted Rams, Bengals rematch. Burrow lied to me. He's not healthy. It's really sad that he won't sit down, but I get it. This is what they do. They will run you into the ground. As it looks right now, I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles-Dolphins. Okay. Fuck it.
That Eagles, is a bold-ass prediction.
I'm going to go Eagles-Dolphins Super Bowl early prediction right now. My favorite teams, the Chiefs are always going to be in there. I'm not going to put my Rams in there. I'm going to put the Dolphins, Eagles. I'm going to put the Cowboys in there for now, even though I don't think they're going to do anything. 49ers. I quit.
That's 5.
I quit.
That was 5.
Next. Oh, what is a go-to song, old or new, you'd play to set the mood with a partner?
Ooh. That's a good question. I like Tank. Play some When We Dirty.
So that's the song?
That's one of the songs. That would be on a playlist. Take You Down is old school. I was young when that came out. Chris Brown.
Anything Party Next Door for me.
Okay.
When I hear Party Next Door, like the panties just melt.
Tank
does it for you?
Yeah.
I'm a Party Next Door kind of girl. I fuck
the
with
weirdest
the
song I think that I've ever had sex to was this dude that I used to mess with heavy. He used to play, what's that song by Tiana Taylor? And
Three-Way?
No. Oh. Not Three-Way.
That's my favorite Tiana Taylor song.
I forgot. The one with what the fuck is the name of the song? With Pusha T, I think. He used to whisper the lyrics in my ear. I don't
even know the song.
So, what the hell is the name of the song? The Maybe.
I don't know the song. Oh! I have heard that one. Damn.
Yo. Okay, let me stop.
Okay, 2 more questions and we out of here. Okay. What's the key from a woman's perspective to make a marriage last?
I don't know if you guys can see, but I am not married, so I am sharing my perspective of,
So women always have this long list of deal breakers, right? And I had a list fucking longer than my legs, bitch, when I was in my 20s. You see these legs?
Yep.
Longer than these motherfucking legs, okay? As I got older, that list just shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened. What's on your deal breaker list for marriage?
I want a man who loves God. That's first and foremost. Values family. Good sex is always non-negotiable. If I'm spending the rest of my life with you, gotta not put it down. But no, transparency, honesty. I think that's the bare minimum, right? But in today's society,
does money matter? Does his bank account matter?
Absolutely.
So he does got to have a coin.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I bring a lot to the table. So I mean, I would want someone who is, in that bracket or financially able to provide. No cheap broke boys over here. But finances. A lot of people get divorced over stuff like that, right? So it's super important.
Well, I think a lot of people get divorced over expectations, unspoken expectations. First, let me tell you my deal breakers. Sex is number one.
Yeah, sex is good for the soul.
If you're not ramming my head into the headboard,
there we go.
Pack it the fuck up, okay?
She said, if you ain't,
I need amazing sex. Like it's very, very important to me. The second thing is being a kind, good human being, right? Because I think that goes a long way across the board with just who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
I think people that have empathy for old people, children, and women, that's important to me. Because when I got with my husband, he would be considered wealthy to most people, but to me, he wasn't. He was on a practice squad. Like he wasn't where we are now, obviously. But I think seeing you on your way to being able to take care of your family,
like financially
I would value
responsible,
yes,
able to manage money,
like
yes,
you don't have to have had it,
right?
But I gotta see it. I gotta see it in you.
Financial discipline is important.
Yes, I gotta see that you know.
Aspect of it is probably what I meant more than
right.
Like how do you handle it? What is your relationship to money? Because some people have a very traumatic relationship with money based off experience, how they were raised, or So I think that matters.
But I think what the most important thing is communication of expectations. So you can't think somebody's a mind reader and they're going to do all the things you want done. And then you mad that they're not doing the things you want done that you didn't communicate that you wanted done.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to not only communicate, but you actually have to like comprehend, understand what the person is saying. Like it has to transfer. So if you're emotionally unintelligent, that's bad for me as well. Like I think that people undervalue that because a lot comes with that. So all those things I listed are super important, but comprehension and intelligence are super important as well.
I agree.
Because if I tell you I'm sexually not satisfied and it's because you're not doing this, this, and this, and you still don't do this, this, and this, who cares what you are doing?
Listening is
you're not
important.
Listening to me.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listening to your partner, understanding what they need is so important. What?
A man who knows how to lead.
But lead me where? Where we going? Because niggas will lead you into a fucking pissy mattress in the projects.
Or good at making decisions. Like I do not want to be making the decisions in a relationship as a woman who is so career driven that I appreciate when a man can kind of take that load off of me. I want to bask in my femininity. I don't want to be the nigga in the relationship.
Like, sometimes I have to be the nigga in my relationship though, because there's certain things that my husband doesn't have.
I mean, you find someone that's equally yoked. I'm just speaking.
There's certain times I have to lead, and there's certain times he has to lead.
Absolutely.
Perfect example. When we have cultural conversations, Brent don't have the knowledge. He doesn't take the time to do the educational part of learning cultural things. So I lead in that.
Yes.
Right? But when my son wants to know how to build muscle, his daddy gonna lead in that.
But
So
that's why you find someone that you're equally yoked with to do that. But I'm just saying, for me, I mean, no, I would want someone who's equally yoked, but that's part of it. Like, you know, there are times where, as you said, a woman will have to lead, but I appreciate a man who can just
lead.
be him.
Yeah. Okay, last question.
Okay.
Can you love two people romantically at once? I think if you do, you simply want to be poly.
Love in what way? There's different kinds of love.
I mean,
there's, you know, friendship
physical
kind of love, physical. I mean, what kind
of
love are you talking about?
Let me say this, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm the type of woman where if you are going to Vegas, going to Colombia, fucking anywhere on a guy's trip, and you get a slice of coochie from somebody, I don't need to know about it. It's not a deal breaker for me. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not someone that feels like monogamy is natural. And I know a lot of people don't feel the same way that I do, and that's fine. I don't feel like men are natural monogamers. Some are, and I've accepted that most men aren't, and I'm okay with that. But when you talk about loving somebody else, then that takes time away from me and my son. So I need to know that you loving somebody else. So then I get to decide if I still want to be in this.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
Yeah. So if you loving somebody else, that means they're going to get quality time. This ain't
That's what I said. What kind
this
of
ain't
love
a fucking duck situation. Right. You actually love somebody. We got to sit down and talk about this, because then maybe I'm cool with it. Maybe I'm tired of sucking your dick every day and she could do it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like we might be able to work on some things.
Work something out.
I'm open to all conversations about anything. I'm a communicator. So anything that's communicated to me, I feel like I can work with it. When I'm not communicated with, now I got a problem.
And that goes back to what we were talking about, finding somebody who you're equally yoked with. To each his own. What works for you probably won't work for me or work for the next person. But
so what do you think?
You got to find what works for you. I think that is possible to love two people. I mean, I have not experienced that yet in my life, but I've seen situations with some of my homegirls who are in poly relationships where they are super happy, and it works for them. So I've seen some examples of it.
Yeah.
To each his own.
I think communication.
I just stay in my lane, but I'm big on communication. I mean, we both are, right? We work in an industry where communication is key, and how we get paid and how we do our thing. But I'm big on communication. Let's talk things out. Let's try to understand each other.
And don't lie. Don't have me in some shit that I don't know about. Right. And they get mad when I find out and I don't want to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let me know what I'm getting myself into.
Let me know what I'm
and let me be able to make a decision. I don't want you to make that decision for me.
Let me choose for myself.
Exactly.
If I want to fuck with you, how you fuck with me.
Period. And that just goes, you got to have those conversations.
Yes. Did you enjoy this?
I did. This was
fun.
We got to do this when we're sober, but this was fun. This was
This was better. Wait. Shout out James Harden.
Shout out to him. And I don't even really be doing red, but
he ain't sponsoring this motherfucking podcast.
Just shouting him out.
James, I need a case of wine, okay? I buy so many. I have so many cases of wine. I love your wine. It's great. This was a good time. Cheers, bitch. Cheers. I enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, pass the link around. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about it. And if you don't like it, fuck you. Shit. Peace. We out.